Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and today the Los Angeles Clippers have traded for John Collins. I love this trade for the Los Angeles Clippers, adding in John Collins, who averaged 19 points per game and 8 rebounds per game last season in 40 games and 30 minutes per game. I think if you pair him, next to James Harden, who's a great facilitator. John Collins is a great lob threat. And now you look at what James Harden has. James Harden has 2 lob threats. You've got Ivica Zubac, who I thought, I think Ivica Zubac last year with James Harden, that pick and roll was the best pick and roll James Harden's had since he was in Houston and he had Clint Capella. I know Harden played with Embiid, but Embiid wasn't really a lob threat with Harden. And so I thought the chemistry between Harden and Zubac last year was one of the best in the league with a point guard facilitator, whether you want to call James a point guard or shooting guard. Last year, James was a point guard and a center. I thought it was one of the best in the league last year with Harden and Zubac. And now Harden has another guy he can throw lobs to and get the basketball to in the paint with John Collins, who averaged 19 and 8 last year. I think another thing this does, which another reason why I think this is a good addition for the Los Angeles Clippers, this gives Kawhi Leonard the opportunity to play at the 3 next year, not have to play at the 4. Norman Powell, Kawhi's at the power forward position, but with John Collins coming in, Kawhi gets to play at the 3. Right now, I don't know if I'd give the Clippers a full A+ on this deal because we'll have to see what happens with both of these guys involved in this deal, Norman Powell and John Collins, being free agents. Does Miami figure out a way to extend Norman Powell, or do they just let him walk in free agency next year? Do the Clippers extend John Collins? If the Clippers can get an extension done with John Collins and agree to a deal with him, then honestly, they've got a great trade right here. Bringing in John Collins, if they can retain him and sign him to a long-term deal, that would be great. And so the Clippers right now, they don't have any reason to want to blow it up because they right now a lot of their draft picks are not theirs. The Thunder have a lot of their draft picks, so still from that Paul George trade. So no reason to try to blow things up right now. The Thunder, they don't have their first round pick next year. So that's one thing to think about. But yeah, so I like this addition for them adding in Collins. But everybody's got to remember Norman Powell did one hell of a job for this Clippers team when Kawhi Leonard was injured. So good that he was being considered as an all-star. He wasn't. Honestly, I think he should have been. The way he was playing before the All-Star break, averaged 22 points per game in the season, even though his numbers went down after Kawhi came back. I mean, his number, and he had an injury. I think he was averaging like 23 or 24 when Kawhi was not healthy. So those numbers were even higher than 22 points per game before Kawhi came back. So I think it's a great addition for the Miami Heat. But the thing I also wonder for the Miami Heat with them adding in Norman Powell is, do you rule Miami out as a Jonathan Kuminga contender now? Do they still bring in Jonathan Kuminga with now adding in Norman Powell is the question, because you've got Norman Powell, you've got Andrew Wiggins. So that is one thing I'm wondering right now. Let me know your thoughts on the trade for the Jazz, Clippers, and Heat in the comment section, and peace out.